My husband came from Budapest, and he always wanted his own business because his family had all been wholesale or retail butchers in Hungary. And it fled from Hungary after the revolution in 1956 and hoped to be able to start a business here. As he was growing up, of course, he was quite involved, just helping his father. And of course, so he understood about meat. But when he came to England, he of course had to learn the English butchering, which is a lot different. And he came out from Hungary with his brother, and they both got a job. There was a German-based butcher's in Rotherham, which was a very good butcher, Schonnets they called them. And they both went to work there. And they were supposed to be just in one department, but with it being Alex and his brother, they made sure they got in every department and learnt all pork products. So when they'd finished there, that they were both capable of starting their own pork shop up because they'd learnt, and obviously, learnt how to do everything. The year after we were married, we found a shop at Wadsley Bridge and started the business there together. And it was a very run-down shop. We didn't realise actually how run-down it was. The people before us had a very big order for raw meat. The customer cancelled it the first day that we opened. So of course it worried my husband a lot. So he set a van up and he went round the estate. There was only a shelf and scales, and he went knocking on the doors, and he managed to build a round up to sell. He went out twice a week, and I used to go and deliver orders on the Saturday. We were just so enthusiastic because we had no money, and this was just so, with every incentive, is that the word, to make it. It was very exciting. We just enjoyed it very much because from nothing, and the shop was so low, the customers, it was so down that everything just built up from it. My husband was so good at the taste, to make everything so tasty, and we built a very good reputation there for these fresh pork sandwiches, which we roasted freshly every morning. And also, they used to sell pastries and baking that they bought in, but we started baking everything ourselves. We started making buns and fruit pies and all the pastries. And that was quite hard at the beginning because we didn't have a lot of equipment, so to mix everything by hand. But it was very satisfying because they became very popular and we built a very good trade up there. And we were there for 10 years until the shop was pulled down for road widening. And we used to worry that we wouldn't be able to find another shop. But fortunately, we found the shop quite nearby at the bottom of Wadsley Lane. And we built a very good shop there. You can build a good business up if you've got a very good product. And my husband was extremely good at baking and developing. And also, he was a very good butcher. I suppose, looking back, I did work very hard, but I realise now just how hard Alex worked because he was up from 5 o'clock baking, and then after he'd done that, he'd be in the shop selling, and then he didn't close till 5 o'clock. And then, of course, he used to do all the bookkeeping. Yes, he worked very hard. And I did. And, of course, I started having the children then, which, of course, adds more complications when little children come along. As Richard developed, he started coming down from being 13-year-old. He always came down every Saturday. He always worked all the holidays. And even eventually when he went to a baking college, he always used to come home every weekend and the holidays. So he showed a great interest in it, and he knew that he wanted eventually to come into the business. And so, of course, that is a wonderful thing when you know there's someone that's going to be able to carry this on. And he learnt everything under his father, and he was a very good teacher. And Richard, as he settled down, he was a good pupil. There were little bits of friction at first, but gradually, as Richard got older, and as it's proved, he turned out to be very good. They wanted to go to university, and that's what they aimed for and studied for, and so they did both go. And Helen qualified as a chartered accountant, and Catherine, after she'd got a business degree, she went down to London to Westminster College to train as a chef. But both of them, Helen, first of all, after she qualified, she wanted to do something different, and so she asked to come into the shop. She was about 27 then, wasn't she? And then a few years later, Catherine did the same after she qualified, and that was good. And Richard was more than happy to have them in, because, you know, it's always good to have your family working together. Because they've all got all the different skills, it means that they can all support one another. They've got 5 shops, and they're managing to produce all this bakery and all this from very small amount of space. And Richard said, we can't possibly keep producing all this from here. So we started looking for a factory. And luckily, Richard was driving down Harris Road, and Alex had looked round there and not seen anywhere, but there was a tree obscured the for sale sign, and Richard saw it, and he went in, and we got that. And when we bought it, the surveyor that came, I think he thought we wouldn't possibly be able to renovate it and turn it into a factory. But of course, Alex was very good at this, and Richard was, and between them both, they planned it all. Everything that's working in there, they planned it, and it's turned out to be an extremely good factory. And that's really then when Richard started looking around and found more shops, and we couldn't have developed from the first bakery, it was just so small. But now from this factory, we do so much from there, you know. I'm very proud, and Alex would be extremely proud now, because it all just seemed to have consolidated. I mean, they've improved all, you know, made all the shops the same, and it just, people notice it so much now. They really do know the name. We've been very fortunate with staff, and we've got quite a few people that have been with us a long time. Very, very good staff. People often say what nice staff we have in the shops, because I think they all quite enjoy working there, and we're very proud of them. As the friends often pointed out, the quality has remained the same. That, you know, you start off and it was excellent, but it's never gone down at all. From Richard coming in and taking over, the quality of everything and the taste is just the same, and that is a big achievement.